Now, when people hear the word abundance, they usually think of money, right? Because it is the most understood and measurable form of abundance, which society seems to value greatly. When a person lacks abundance with money, they believe they lack abundance. However, that may not be the case because they may be abundant in the five other forms of abundance outside of money, which is what I'll be talking about in this video. Let me start off with the most kind of basic one, and I'll explain it by bringing a personal story into this. So it is time, right? Because no matter how much money you make, if you don't have the time to enjoy your life, your money becomes worthless. Now, I used to live in Zurich, Switzerland, one of the richest cities in the world, and there, like statistically, each 10th person is a net worth millionaire, right? So the bankers there make anywhere from obviously 100 to half a million a year, right? And and upwards from that. And this society and this example, which I'm gonna mention right now, I am doing that just because Switzerland and the mentality of the people there is a great example of putting money above all other forms of abundance and prioritizing money as if it is their god or their religion, right? Which is what Swiss people tend to do. So let me talk about it. Now, as I said, I used to live there, and over the summer, I worked in a restaurant. I quit my job. I was unemployed, struggled to find a job, and in the summer, I lived next to a lake. I would sometimes just run around there with my headphones, shirtless, enjoying the summertime. Here and there, jumping in the lake, enjoying the summer, right? And I would sometimes see like these Swiss bankers running to their office with a coffee stain on their shirt, balancing their suitcase, their cigarette, their Adderall, and the alcoholic intoxication of last night. So there I'm thinking like that really made me realize like there's this abundance of money is not the highest of abundance because I'm I have no money. However, I am running around in the sunshine, swimming in the lake, completely enjoying myself. And this guy, he doesn't have the right to say, you know what, I'm not gonna go to the office today. I'm gonna stay home. He makes 300K a year, but his health is messed up. He needs to pop a bunch of Adderalls, smoke a bunch of cigarettes, drink a bunch of coffee, drink a bunch of alcohol to relax, and many, many other vices. They say Zurich is a cocaine town. Obviously, abuse of drugs, right? So these people may be abundant in their body, not in their body, in their finances. They may make 300,000 a year. However, they do not have the right to say when they want to work. They have to work this and this time, come into the office wearing this, doing this, behaving in this way, right? Putting them in a bunch of boxes. They have 4 weeks off during the year, and that's what they're dealing with because that is the price you have to pay for making that large amount of money, right? They really sacrifice all the other forms of abundance. And so, yeah, I was like running around, and I know for a fact that some of these guys making like 100 times more money than me would probably switch places with me running around shirtless in the sun with my headphones while they are running to their office, which they just don't want to do. So, yeah, as Bob Marley said when they asked him in an interview if he has a lot of possessions, he's like, possessions? Possessions make you rich. I don't have that kind of riches. My riches is life, you know? So, right. On to the next example, gifts. Gifts are a beautiful expression of abundance that comes in many forms, from acts of kindness to resources, support without any expectation of return. A gift is a very wide umbrella. It can be some positive advice, it can be a simple compliment, some help, right? Now, a story I want to tell you with the gift and kind of how I am able to connect the dots here. I was in the military and I had an officer who took care of me and basically like got me through this boot camp sort of thing. And I had a great deal of respect for that officer, right? Uh, because he was the same age as me, however, much more competent, which is something I don't often see in my generation. But basically, I respected him so much, I bought him a very expensive katana, like a samurai sword, right? And I gave him that thing, and all the soldiers like ran out. They were all like going crazy, like, holy shit, he really got this guy a sword. And obviously that gave him a lot of like pleasure because he just got a sword out of nowhere. But me having given that gift, that brings me joy to this day, right? It is something I sometimes just randomly remember, and I'm like, that was so cool. So people have a very false perception about receiving gifts. People believe that when they receive a gift, it's not right because this capitalistic sort of thinking made us think that we are not allowed, we are not deserving to receive anything without giving something in return. That's the way our brains operate in the modern world. So when somebody receives a gift, it is almost incomprehensible. It is like it's out of this world. It feels like a fairy tale. It feels like surreal because we are so programmed to believe that that's just not something we do anymore. In order for you to receive something amazing, you need to give somebody something in return, right? But that kind of steals the whole magic. And um, yeah, so receiving a gift can be a powerful reminder that you're supported by the universe and others around you without you even noticing it. It's a reminder that you should give freely when you can, knowing that what you put out will eventually come back to you. So the act of giving, right, it just strengthens the bonds, creates a cycle of generosity that benefits everybody involved through the butterfly effect. It is something that just keeps expanding, more and more positivity, kindness, generosity, and love in the world, right? So, yeah, gifts, giving somebody a gift makes you yourself more abundant because you just feel good about the fact that you are able to create abundance for somebody else, right? Because it just feels good for you yourself. And the pleasure which you receive by giving a gift is equal, if not bigger, than the pleasure which the person receiving the gift receives. Meaning that it is actually an equal exchange, right? Because I received just as much joy by gifting something as he did from receiving that, right? So let me go on to synchronicity. Events, meetings, opportunities may perfectly align in your life, guiding you towards your desires without the need for money, right? These moments can feel magical, as if the whole universe is working in your favor to bring you exactly who you need at the current time, in your current circumstance. Now, the way you attract more synchronicity is just by being mindful, being alert, because that way you are able to notice synchronicity through numbers, messages, signs, whatever. Right. The next point would be imagination. Imagination is overlooked because it is something everybody has access to. It's just some people may have a much deeper kind of childlike imagination than others, right? But imagination allows you to see opportunities where others see obstacles. It allows you to think creatively and find solutions to challenges, kind of think outside the box, create new systems, and manifest your desires in ways you may not have previously considered, right? This childlike dream world creates unlimited possibilities, and your imagination, the power of your mind, can create all the other forms of abundance into your life if you have that abundance of imagination, which is something that technically everybody has access to, right? So the last point I want to mention is trade, right? It's the form of abundance which we had before we had money. People used to just trade. I used to come to the function with 3 goats. You came with 10 chickens. And we were like, yo, you know what? I need my chickens. You need my goats. Let's just do the trading, right? So that's what people did before we had money. And it still applies today. You may not have money, but you may have a certain material object which somebody may value more than you, meaning that they receive more abundance from it, and you may receive the thing which provides more abundance for you in your current circumstance. I hope that made sense. But yeah, those would be the forms of abundance outside of money, something which can be considered when money is not available. Use the abundance which you have, because you may, I don't know, not always have the same kind, right? I believe there are different cycles where you have access towards different forms of abundance. So don't dwell on the thing which you do not have. Focus on what you do have. Thank you for being here. See ya.